You know what they always say, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. And that's a challenge that, not everybody would be up for taking, but Aqua and Noah, they're definitely up for a challenge just like that. And you already see multiple people yet again over towards Redline Rig. And this is going to be one of those fights where it's all about the drop. Those floor spawns on top of the actual rig. And Noah Riley's actually able to get one of them.
Banyak choosing to go on the outer side here. Maybe take shots from afar. Malibuka with the initial weapon to take out Noah. Aqua as well. Looks like he's going to fall shortly after. Be careful, Malibuka. Lost a bit of HP falling down, but 2 elims to start it off. They've got the better positioning on the drop as well compared to Banyak Swizzy. So now they'll have more loot. They'll have more shields. They'll have the potential of getting that NPC quicker. And it's going to be a battle against Banyak and Swizzy if they don't end up getting them already. But it looks like Swizzy might get knocked down here. How many builds was he able to farm up as Merstash starts dropping?
Yeah, this is going to be a big opportunity. I thought I heard a Nitro splash as well. That's Malibuka already on the ground. The Banyak created some separation. Gets the drop onto Malibuka, so it turned down into a 1v1 situation. Banyak versus Merstash, who's ready to put it all on the line and come out on top. Even with Malibuka going down, they be sure to clean up that elimination to try to get the points before they went all the way back to the lobby.
I love the control from Merstash there. He took some shots initially going towards the shield bubble, and when he went into the shield bubble, he didn't even shoot because he saw his opponent jump out. He stayed tracking him, stayed calm, stayed cool, collected, and right when he went out of the shield bubble, finished it off with a couple shots, just like Kidduo and Nebs have been finished off in this last game.
Yeah, we saw kind of the fall damage, the little accidents that's happened early on, and this time around, Tucson Kami just once again end the fight pretty quick. Give themselves a lot of space to work with. Like I said, the only real thing that isn't there is that metal. So eventually they'll have to venture out and figure out where they're going to get that from. Uh-oh. This was uncontested at one point.
It was. As they no longer has NPC opens up the door. They're like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. Just an NPC. We're good. False alarm. False alarm. We'll start making some noise now. Keep on farming up.
I see Akira and YZY just going down in the feed. They were playing so well, pretty consistent, I believe, up until the last couple of games. Yeah, and from a drop that was uncontested, they know at least one team is there. That's Glubshy and Vortex. They just don't know exactly where they're at. They were below them at one point or another, but now they've went to try to get as much loot as possible, which I think might be an inevitable fight for this medallion, for the Mythic Combat Shotgun as well.
Clock keeps ticking. Even more duos here than I would have expected, actually, compared to the previous matches.
Yeah, I feel like the longer these medallions take to actually get, more players, especially in the 6th game, are willing to take that risk, move over in that direction, see what we can find, sneak up on a couple teams, but there's now 3 teams over in this direction. It's getting a little crowded for my liking.
Getting a little dangerous as more players are sneaking around the brutal beachhead here. You're never safe wandering up in these territories, and it's just a waiting game at this point.
See everybody walking around slowly but sure. I think eventually it's this team here and Finn and Kenty that will run into each other first, but the shots get fired off. That's just for the NPCs. It does look like they're ready to challenge the boss for the fight, but in comes Vortex. Everybody's just going at it, and that's only the 2 teams that we saw. There's still that third party that can sneak up at a moment's notice, but nice shots by Vortex and Glubsheet to take an early advantage in terms of HP and shield.
Wow. Get more. 80 shot. Gonna be enough to crack their opponent, but not for a knock yet. Mini's gonna be popped now. No more Nitro splashes. But for SNK and his duo, they got more than enough Nitro, as they'll be going right into their opponent's boxes here. Although cautious is looking to be the word for this duo here. They don't want to play overly aggressive, it seems.
They had a momentary jump on their opponent, but they thought it was just too much of a risk to keep moving forward. Now this is dragged out, stalemated just a little bit with Glubshy and Vortex. From once having the advantage are now just on the back foot. And it's going to be hard because they're trying to hide their positions. If you see their low material count, in order to farm up as much as possible, they're going to have to give away their positions. And then that's going to open up an opportunity for them to try to drop down. But with the medallion still alive, there's still a lot to be had here at this PLI.
Nason has an angle. Takes the shots, unable to connect a single one, unfortunately. As now, I don't think any fight is going to break out from here. Both duos probably just going to disengage. Cade Merijn once again in an early game. Staggered out fight, but it looks like they might just have the upper hand this time around. One Elim's picked up. Now it's up to Merijn here to finish off the other.
Oh, nice shots. Pablo Finn just kind of skating across, gets the damage, gets the knock on Merijn. That's a big elimination because now you get the med kits. You could try to heal up, but on the other side, you hear the nitro splash coming out. Finn forced to reposition, but at least he was able to grab the med kit. One is all he's going to need, but Cade leak as well. One shot to each one of these players, but the longer Cade takes, the better it will be as he nitro splashes into the box and finally takes down his opponent. And now he gets to return the favor that Merijn did in that last game.
That was scary for Cade, though. He was also just one shotgun shot away from getting eliminated, so he played that confidently, and it ended up working out, but it was a bit scary. Teeny Chap now in the third place spot on the leaderboard here, so they bumped themselves up significantly from the last VR that we witnessed, and seeing that they might just have control of this tower and they'll be able to see the upcoming zones. We could see a repeat of the last match potentially. For Cringe and Volko though, Cringe was the damage leader in game 1. Has he maintained that throughout the rest of these matches? I'm not so sure.
He's ready to charge at everybody, breaking walls one layer at a time, going through the ramps. Gold is all the way on the high ground. Volko knows it. He's just trying to distract him and let Cringe run wild, but this is where it's going to get dangerous because at any moment, either one of these guys can try to drop down and get a 2v1. As Odin's getting attacked, you see Gold just trying to create space. He alleviates some of the pressure by landing some shots, but it's not a lot of damage, so the pressure is only going to be alleviated for so much before Gold finally has to drop down with a nitro splash of his own.
Gotta be careful here. That great combat can only do so much. When you got Cringe getting dropped down now. Not looking for that initial shot, though. Both players now chose to back up, disengage into the storm, but Cringe and Volko don't want to let that slide so easily. Odin gets knocked down. Last player up and running now. But that's just the green light for Cringe.
Okay, this is terrible for Gold. Open water now. Trying to build a little island that he can call his own, but Cringe is ready to invade. Not wanting to let Gold in this elimination go easy, but good shots being fired back from Gold, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. But you see in the minimap, another team hears all this noise. They know Cringe and Volko are in open water, and this is their chance to attack. You see them hot on the heels. They want to try to clean this up, not give them a chance to heal, but Cringe is doing the right thing, creating space, but no ramps means he's easily susceptible to the nitro splash dash as he gets taken down. It's going to be a trade, though. 1-for-1, coming down to a 1v1.
Shex did close it out, though. So he is going to be able to pick up his teammate now. Both players sent back to the lobby. The third party was successful. That was quick, too. I mean, that's the issue. You have these fights. You end up chasing them in the zone. And even though you come out on top, if you even just get cracked in this current meta, the third party can be incredibly dangerous if both players come in with nitro. You won't have time to heal. And if you don't hit that initial shot, then it might just be game over. Harris and I drop, though, trying to play as consistent as possible. You can see 6th place currently on the leaderboard, but the top 10 has been incredibly close throughout the whole day. It's not like there's a duo leading the pack here. Everybody has a chance to finish in first place.
This is where it really gets tight. With time winding down in this last and final game, some players are feeling the pressure because they want those series points because it's not guaranteed in this next week. You saw how hard it actually was for some of these teams to make it past each and every one of these rounds, some of them just barely scraping through. But once you get that opportunity in a finals lobby, almost anything is possible. You even see an example here from Merstash and Malabuka barely scraping through into this round, playing only half of their games out and still find their position in 4th place.
Our first place team, Trulex Chicho. Also looking like they want to play a bit slower this time around. They already have their initial elimination, but they will need more damage. Not too many duos in the area, though. They have the reverb sticks as well, so they have those dashes that they can conserve whenever they want to use them.
Can we take a moment to just appreciate how well Chicho and Trulex are playing today? And I'm not even talking about the first place. I would say the same thing if they were in 5th, because these guys have spent less than a minute away from each other in over 2 hours. And yes, I'm hyped. I'm screaming it just a little bit because how ridiculous does that sound? 39 seconds as solos in over 2 hours. It's moves like that that shows that them sticking together, no matter what happened at the Global Championship, missing out on Major 1, that it is time spent together that matters most. And they're really proving it here today.
Chemistry is key, and they're showing you exactly why on their positioning. Vico, Flixie, speaking about chemistry, we talked about it earlier. Now speaking in their native language here. Vico not forced to speak in English. Has it been working out? I mean, they've been doing pretty well.
As someone like yourself who knows, 2 different languages and probably switches between which duo he's playing with, do you think that kind of helps? Do you think it's more of a learning curve that they have to go through?
It's an interesting question because there are like set calls that you can make in various languages, but you're always going to be more confident in your native language, and I feel like you'll speak more as well. An issue a lot of players have, especially in team-based modes, is consistently communicating and giving as many comms as possible. And I feel like if it's not your main language, you'll give the most important comms, but you won't give those side comms. And if you're speaking your native language, you're going to be talking a lot more, you'll be a lot more active, you'll almost be thinking more. So I do think it's definitely more beneficial if you're able to do that. But sometimes, depending on who you want to play with, it can outweigh the language barrier if you feel like you have a very good duo. So it's a difficult choice, but we'll have to see if it was the right one that they made.
I trust your judgment. I trust your thought process, resident pro player here on the broadcast. Experienced as can be, so that's why, I like casting with you, Takada. Anytime I have some struggles, any questions, I know I'm going to get the answer. And I think with some of the struggles some of these teams have faced here today, they've instantly found the answer. A lot of times today we saw Fire Hunter and Artist go down as solos, separated, but it only meant so much because they're still in 2nd place. They're making the moments that they do spend together as a full duo, they're making it all count.
Making every moment count. You can see Rift Island in the distance as well. Trying to just kind of see where his opponents are, if he can land a shot or two. With 0 eliminations on the board, you can already tell they're maybe a little bit stressed on how much damage they've done. That's an issue as well. If you end up pulling zone, some of the times you don't get as many duos rotating through. You have to almost position yourself more in the corner if you want to find them kind of making their way in zone, so it can lead to you not getting enough damage. But for duos like Cade and Merijn, who are on the corner of the map and also contested at the start of the match, they've had more than enough opportunities to get those tags and get that damage, where they shouldn't have too much pressure on them.
Especially since a lot of those fights that we have watched are kind of drawn out. They're healing up. That gives more damage for Storm Surge. So they're definitely playing their cards right. Chapentini, another forecast tower that they are going after. And just trying to really make a comparison, it was earlier in this same tournament, the first couple games, they were going against Marius and Sangeld, who no longer make their presence known on this side of the map because of how well Chapentini are doing. And you can see the replay of them picking up just a couple more eliminations and just kind of conditioning everybody around that forecast tower, saying, hey, if you guys are going to go for it, that is perfectly fine with us, but you better be ready to fight for it.
Merstash Malabuka looking like they're having a bit of fun in this last game here. Good news is they made it off spawn happily. The 2 duos that contested them went down to Merstash's hands. With the 4 elims he's got on the board now. Busting out the moves. I like that shot, showing the Nitro portals. Also,
You say these pro players aren't the only one working during the off season. I gotta give a huge shout out to the whole observing team, man. You really notice the difference. I try to do these by myself, and I feel like I can't cast and observe. Having a full team like this just makes it flawless, makes it easy. We get replays like this, making sure we don't miss a second of the action. As Vico, Flixie, they're trying to heat up. This is the very last game. They got quite a gap to overcome if they want to reach that first place spot, because that was at 194, started by Trulex and Chicho at the game. But they could definitely reach as close to that as possible, get some series points, start to go ahead and get that practice under your belt, and come back stronger for week 2.
Yeah, the comeback would be huge, but you said it yourself, it's going to be difficult, and not only because of that, but also it's the first time today we've had each of the top 5 teams alive so far into the match.
Ooh, interesting.
As we've seen a lot of them getting knocked down earlier on. As Marius looks like he's going to be one of them joining the players in the lobby. His duo partner's still up though. You can see Sangild not too far away, but Tini and Chap, we know how aggressive this duo is, so will they pursue though? Looks like they might actually not.
6 elims so far, 179. Remember, like I said, to start the game, Trulex and Chicho, if they have no eliminations to this point, it is going to be 194. So only 21 more points for them to overcome. This is Sangild and Marius. They made that decision to no longer contest that forecast tower, and I think that's a great decision for them to make, because they were slowly but surely having a few hiccups, stutter steps to their game plan, and now they at least have a chance to try to pick up the pace.
Voltiax and Pool trying to figure out the rotation here. Going through the tunnel. I don't see too many duos directly out of it, but on the edge of the zone, there are quite a few. But Lucy, though, quickly enough, hello, drops right in front of them. Is it a blessing or a curse, though? Because now the focus could be on them from the duos that are already boxed in, but it looks like not too much pressure has been put onto their shoulders, so they should be fine for now.
Yeah, it's for now, because I obviously don't see what Voltiax has in his inventory, but I see no Flowberry Fizz, no Nitro Splashes. It's not the farthest pool here in the lobby. Without the right utility, it's going to feel like a far and a drastic pull, especially with around 4 teams directly in front of you and a couple more waiting inside of the zone to try to gatekeep you out.
I drop Haris once again, following their strat from every single match today of their Storm Surge base. You can see how planned out some of these duos have their game, from early game to mid game rotations to how to get damage to how to play the late game. And this is actually the perfect zone for them, as a lot of these duos have to rotate towards them. If they were just inside of the zone on the edge there, it would be ideal, but they don't have to move too far to get in, so they can kind of take their time here.
These bases definitely working out for them. So far in this tournament so far, they have about 3,300 damage throughout 5 games, and you're seeing a lot of that being accumulated in moments like this. But hold up, wait a minute. Malabuka, Merstash get separated. Merstash goes down, and we know they've already claimed the red line rig material, the loot, everything from over on that side of the map. So it's going to be like an interesting decision to see how he's going to be able to stay alive, because it's in the games that they've been able to play that's been so fruitful.
What has went wrong for Merstash and Malabuka in this last match? From 4th place now, it could cause them to drop down quite significantly here. You can see how Voltiax just kind of beamed Merstash during his rotate.
I see him by himself, all alone on the side of that mountain. Luckily for him, there's not too much distance to cover. You see him underneath the bridge. There's your boy Trulex and Chicho, 196 points. Just about 8 points shy of that 2nd place Fire Hunter and Artist. And they too have a similar rotation as Malabuka, but they are way better off. They have the Fizz, they have the Nitro Splashes, they have all the utility they need to make a quick rotation into the zone. And if things get tough, they can easily stagger themselves, box themselves up, use the Nitro Splash yet again, and then kind of play it how they want.
Choices are what you want, and that's exactly what they have here. But that zone is quite a difficult one. They might be able to go all the way east and kind of reuse the tarps from what the players are going to be building, even the natural mobility. And look at that. A nitro portal. One quick jump right in the zone. But look at Cade and Merijn's positioning on top of the ridge. That's a huge spot to be in.
Man, just below. I believe Trulex just got cracked. Malabuka, we saw when Merstash went down, but now we're seeing the results. 61 below the damage threshold. Even with the eliminations they got in the early game, because it was off spawn, that's not a lot of damage when it comes to Storm Surge. Very little at that, but Merijn finally taking down Chicho. They were the ones that probably got Trulex weak. They immediately nitro their way into the box and take him down. Separating him and Trulex, that 39 seconds that they spent as solos is certainly going to increase here, but hopefully for Trulex, he's able to hold on to that top spot.
That's the big question. 158 above. How much longer can he hold on to it? 1 cola in the inventory, 3 medkits. More than enough materials, though. Malabuka also. A lot of solos in this match. Trying to get the... maximize how many points they can pick up, but with players like that jumping right into their box, it makes it quite difficult.
That's a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Distracted them away from Malabuka momentarily, but in comes CZB and Nathan trying to go unnoticed underneath that mountainside, and they found themselves a nice elimination. More for placement. Combined both. His wrist and eye drop. 479 above the damage threshold. And you can see they're one of the teams that have lost their spot inside of the top 5. And with 2 of those players, the team's going down. This is a great chance to pick up the points. Spangod's on the other side. That's even more eliminations, but Riz quickly reacts to the team, trying to bulldoze their way in through the outside of their cover. These quick reactions coming out of Haris and Eyedrop are not only able to net them those eliminations, but they're able to get the loot for it as well.
So much leftover loot now, too. They have so many options on how they want to make it the zone here. And that's going to be crucial, but you got to be careful as Sandguild, I believe, is still left alone. Marius did go down not too long ago. Sandguild as well going to get eliminated. We have Artist and Fire Hunter. Looks like they want to claim height. Can they maintain it, though? As Trulex, another solo.
A lot of the teams, 3rd through 4th and 5th out. 6th and 7th still up, trying to hold strong. Trulex finds a nice elimination on the underside. That's gonna be at least 4 points, 2 for the elimination, 2 for the placement, but a whole nother duo drops onto that loot, trying to steal it away. Trulex knows he can't necessarily go for that, and you see the ramps being placed down. Huge defensive effort for Trulex, trying to stop anybody from nitroing into his box.
Haris eye drop, though. Looks like they're gonna be the ones that actually want to claim height this time around. Artist and Fire Hunter were trying to make something happen, but unfortunately, height has been taken from them. So the shots now will be put onto them as Haris and Eyedrop flashback to game 1. Issue is they weren't able to hold on to it. Now in game 6, from first match of the day to last match, can they learn from their mistakes?
Yeah, they've already got a 3rd. That's the game that you're talking about. They have a 2nd underneath their belt as well. All they need is this win to kind of cap off every position into the top 3. And they look toward the backside of zone. They don't need Surge, but they need all these players to drop. And that's scary Sean, and he's in a scary situation with Haris and Eyedrop putting a good amount of focus on their position. Trulex forced to stagger back. His heal off is going to begin just a little bit early, but that's just to get him just a better position when he finally makes that dash towards the zone.
Gonna be difficult, though. If eyes are on him, it's gonna stop the rotate. Looking at Fire Hunter Artist now, the only duo to place top 20 in each game today. Can they hold on to that theory, as they've now already made it to 18th at least? So this could be the most consistent duo we see all day. But can they finish it off strong? 472 above. They're running low on materials, Jacob. That's the only issue, and they have to get in, but they do it successfully. Nice tags onto both players. Another 2 eliminations racked up, but be careful. Artist has gone down.
Yeah, they were late to put the ramp. He just ran straight through it, but Fire Hunter by himself, he has to continue running because now there's on his heels multiple players trying to take him down. Merijn, Cade, they found safety in a whole nother layer outside of that building. And with the zone moving forward, they can easily stagger themselves out, use the fizz, use the nitro splash to try to move forward, but they're taking it step by step. They know another team's in front of them. They know a couple are below, and they want to make sure not to get too greedy too fast.
The drop down below. So far, playing it quite safe here. Fire Hunter's still up as well. He's recuperated a bit of the materials that he was so low on. As now he's looking for a shot to connect, but not playing it risky at all.
Yeah, first place is getting tossed sideways. Everybody trying to make that last dash. The series points mean so much. A spot in the upper bracket where it's easy to qualify for that grand finals. But he looks down, he sees two gentlemen down below. One of them being Polish is way more healthier than his teammate. But that pressure is still there. They're the farthest back team, which means Riz and iDrop are going to continue to try to focus them out. And there's a full layer of metal between them and anybody else, so nobody can even look up.
They've got separation for height, but Fire Hunter's gone down now. The players down below need to find their way back up. iDrop and Haris in the ozone layer so high up, nobody's even close to overthrowing them. Popping a flow barrier to drop down. Now the aggression's gonna come through. Wall replace 174, almost gets the knock, finally gets it. Another Elim on the board now for Haris.
Yeah, they dropped down at the perfect time. And the only thing that would make it worse for everybody else in lobby if they had the nitro splashes, but they finally look up. Haris getting voted out, and that's iDrop who's trying to alleviate some of the pressure, give him a chance to build on back up, and they are maintaining that position high above the rest. They're looking to be the first team with 2 victory royales on the day, but they still got a couple other teams and players to go through. One of them being Merijn and Cade, one of the most consistent teams on the day.
Issue is only one build left to work with here. Merijn needs to get inside the box. No nitros left. You gotta be careful as the shot has to connect here. Connects on the wall, gets the Elim though. Another one for Merijn is now the pressure is on. Cade incredibly low. Good news is they're staying together. The chemistry is still there.
Yeah, but he accidentally didn't get the med kit. He picked up the splashes instead. And but at least they know where they're at. Art skill trying to heal off backside of zone. iDrop Riz trying to play safe. They have that win condition in mind. iDrop on the high ground with the 3 med kits. He knows Haris is playing Distraction, Disruptor. He's going to try to down below and try to get the last 2 eliminations. Art Skill is just trying to at least escape together a top 2 placement, which is absolutely a possibility with iDrop being the only one towards the top. He's going to try to run back, start to heal off, and win the game.
It's turned into a 1v1v1. You have Art Skill all the way in zone. Looks like he's out of medkits. Gonna take shots on Merijn. Merijn, not even sure if he has medkits, but iDrop has been dropped. Is it gonna knock him down? It's not. He had the nitro activated. He did not take fall damage, but Art Skill finishes him off. And Merijn secures the victory royale for the last match of the day.
I was thinking Art Skill was trying to sneak away a 2nd place. He was back there, probably all the med kit on the island, and everything came crumbling down. I thought that was gonna be a sure victory, but Cade, Mappy, they will not be denied any opportunity to win.
What a way to finish out that match. That was absolutely incredible. I don't think Merijn even knows what happened. He was still trying to figure it out. He was saying, did I just get the VR? Where did the team on high ground go? Where did all the players go? It doesn't even matter. Merijn got the VR. 4 Elims on the board for him, 3 for his duo. What a way to close it out.
That's how great that was. I actually called Merijn Mappy for a second. He's let me know, bro, I am here, and I am here to stay. One of the most consistent duos on the day, and the only thing that we're missing was that 1st place spot.
It's a great way to finish it off. But now I want to know, Jacob, how this has changed up the leaderboard. So we're going to go right over to the desk. I want Frankie, Levin, and Minnie to break it all down for us.